How's it going, guys? I'm Josh, and lately I've been so busy with school. I'm a junior at NYU. I feel like my channel isn't as relevant as it used to be. Oh, wait! Nope, still irrelevant. Anyway, today I'm going to be reviewing my first ever video part. It was in Revive's Live Skate Die video, which is a full-length skate video. Came out for Revive Skateboards on DVD in February of 2014. So I was filming for it for about 2.5, 3 years, which means I was 15 through 17 years old in the making of this. And what's special about the video part to me is that it memorializes all of your best skill all in this one concise video, and it's street footage, which is awesome. And I'm just really proud of making a video part. And I highly encourage everyone out there to try making a video part, even if you're not that good, because it's just cool to have it all in one place and just know that you work towards something like that. That being said, there are some kooky things about my video part, so let's get into it and assess what's good and what's not good. This video is basically my entire high school skateboarding career summed up into 4 minutes, which I think is pretty neat. And the last thing I want to say before we start this is this initial clip where I destroyed an 8mm camera. A lot of people thought I was really serious, and it was more of like a half joke, satirical troll thing, in that every skate video ever has 8mm footage. So I got this one for $15 on eBay. It was broken and I destroyed it as a joke. And then I contradicted myself by having fake 8mm footage in the video. I'm not sure if people understood or liked the joke. They probably just understood it but hated it. Anyway, goofy intro clip, just staying on my car. That was my old Q45 Infinity. I love this shove power slide thing. Really great way to start my part with a cool line. And then a great way to ruin it with the nollie burial flip that didn't really leave the ground. I bailed a switch front shove right there, and you can see I'm setting up and it just kind of cut off. Fun little kinked handrail. So most of this part is filmed in my hometown of Virginia, Northern Virginia. So all around Herndon, Reston, Arlington, and I have a couple spots all over the place in a few different states, but it's mostly Virginia. Sri Lanka board, I used to write on all of my grip tape, and that was one of my weirder ones. I'm just thinking, like, what's a random, strange country that I should throw on there? Sri Lanka. This clip was pretty fun. I actually ate it super hard after I landed this. I tried to do a flat ground trick. We cut it off, but I fell super hard, and I think my filmer fell too. I think we both fell at the same time. It was a nice moment. Super dark parking garage clips. I like the nollie half cab flip out. I do wish that it was a little bit brighter. I love this clip. This is Baldy Banks in Philadelphia, and this is actually Temple, which is in Philadelphia. We took a few Revive trips to Philly, also at Drexel, which is a school that I later applied to and considered going to for college. This was one of my favorite indoor spots ever. It's in my hometown, and it was just every time it rained, we were going to this parking garage. And security they got a little more tight recently, but I'm happy I was able to get those clips because, like, I spent like a few hours trying that tray flip nose manual. It just took so long. And this line, it's not an exceptionally good line, but this was probably the longest I spent on a clip in the entire video. It must have taken like 3 hours. I don't know what happened, but every time just like one trick that I normally would have just wasn't working. That was filmed in Richmond. Not super hyped on that clip, and I remember not being hyped on it, but it was just a new city, so why not throw it in there. This was filmed by Andy Schrock in Ohio, and this kickflip, it was clean, but I barely made it. If you look, like, my tail may have touched the last step. Who cares though? This is a very awkward looking nollie half cab flip. I remember I actually landed this line and I got it really clean, but my friend messed up the filming right as it was getting too dark. So we had to come back the next day. I was kind of mad at him, but I did manage to land it. And then my friend misses this high five, which is amazing. This Wally I'm really hyped on. It's kind of tall. I wish I filmed it better with not just like a boring tripod angle. There's a lot of tripod stuff in this part. I feel like a lot of tripod stuff in this part. I feel like I'm talking really fast because I have so much to say. I can make like 3 videos about this and still have stuff to say. This line is in Philly, and this nollie flip was really questionable. You'll see with the second angle, it was like super mobbed. But I actually had a bus to catch in 20 minutes, and it was just like this ultimate race against time. And as soon as I rolled away, Andy and I just jumped in a car and gunned it to the bus station, and I made it by like 2 minutes. So I'm really glad I got that line. Super huge risk. This was an awesome DIY spot in my hometown, and people kept building it up again and they get destroyed. And I think that may have happened like 3 or 4 times. Skating a handrail in the rain, not a great idea, but we drove like an hour to get there. And then it started pouring. We're like, all right, you know what? We got to do it. Hard flip in Cincinnati, and this is my ender, the varial heel. And what is interesting about skating a gap like this is, especially for an ender, you don't know how big these gaps are, especially when you do fisheye. But even though this is long lens, you still just can't really tell. So for me, it was like, oh, I did this huge varial heel. But I feel like for some people, you have no idea. It's like, that could just be like a medium to small gap. I was stoked on it. It was probably one of my bigger battles. Like, I don't skate big gaps that often, and it's big-ish. I'm not going to say it's massive, but I was hyped on the ender. It may have not looked as cool as I hoped, but it turned out okay. And the last thing I want to talk about for this part is the fact that at the end, people usually put thank yous for everyone they're grateful for and appreciative of, and I instead chose to include a lasagna recipe, which 17-year-old me thought was really funny. But at the same time, it's like kind of ungrateful for all the people that actually have really helped me. And oh, an Aaron Cairo video is playing now. Fun. So yeah, it may have seemed sort of ungrateful not to thank everyone who I owe thanks to. But at the same time, it's a really sick lasagna recipe. So, all right, you know what? I still think it's kind of funny, actually. And that's my part. I hope that my next part can be better than that. That's the one goal I really have. But even if it's not, my skating has changed so much. I think you'll see that my trick selection is a little bit different. I actually skated a couple handrails in this new part, and hopefully it's just going to be different. Maybe not better, but different. Hopefully better. That was some pretty crazy fast talking. I feel like I was just gunning it through this entire video. Hopefully you could actually still understand me. What I think is also really interesting about the part is I sometimes will learn new tricks and I don't want to show people on the internet because I want it to be a surprise when it drops in my part. So I think the fact that I haven't dropped any real street footage or like my best street footage in the last 2.5 years or so is strange because people don't know how good I am. And I'm not claiming to be like that much better. I think you guys have probably a general idea of my talent levels, but there is definitely some stuff that I kind of want to hold out on and not show people, so when they watch my part, they're going to be stoked. And maybe it doesn't really make sense because on YouTube, it really pays off to be like, oh, I learned a new trick and show off every single trick you've ever learned. I'd rather it be a little bit of a surprise. Things you got to think about when you're a YouTuber. Now for what I've really been looking forward to. We're going to read some of the comments on this part, and there are some really hysterical ones. So jumping right into it, the top comment, 72 upvotes, is you mean live, skate, live. You won't die wearing that helmet, and then a derogatory word that I'm not going to say. And it's funny, he actually has a really good point. The live, skate, die title I'm personally not a huge fan of, just because it is very intense, and it just doesn't necessarily fit with the whole Revive image of not taking skateboarding too seriously. But what are you going to do? What was Annie thinking by sponsoring this level 1 shatter? Not shitter, shatter. That's a great word. I can't even respond to this comment. I just kind of like it. This is the essence of a YouTube skate video. The filming is terrible, if not neglected completely in certain shots, and every trick is super slow. He makes an interesting and fair point. Yeah, some of the filming is really terrible, but at the same time, I think it's cooler to actually make a part than not make a part. And sometimes I would go skating alone. I'm gonna get a clip. So I'd rather see okay filming and actually executing an idea than just not doing it because you don't have a professional filmer, because you're a 15-year-old kid living in Virginia. I made a part happen. I'm still proud of it, and none of this really bothers me. This is one of my favorite comments in the video. Ha 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 ha, this kid is the ultimate troll. He filmed a whole part with the helmet. Gotta respect a dude with a sense of humor. This is why I like YouTube. These are the greatest comments. I love this stuff. Honestly, when it comes to hate, I really enjoy reading hate comments. I just prefer that they be creative. So when someone like this actually comes through with a pretty solid joke, I'm so for it. Please hate on my videos. So really, this is a lot of comments about the helmet, about the style, and about the fact that maybe I shouldn't be sponsored. The usual stuff. I'm gonna leave it with this one last comment that makes a very valid point. Steps to not liking Josh Katz. Number 1, unsubscribe. Number 2, go skate. Which is a really funny point because what I like about people that hate on my videos is the fact that they're putting in so much effort into it. Like, they actually try to hate my videos. If someone really doesn't like them, they would just go and not watch them. But the fact that people are putting their attention into them is really flattering. You know, whether or not you like it or hate it, if you're watching my stuff for whatever reason, I really appreciate it. You're the best. And that is all I have to say. If you want to see more skateboarding video reviews, I have a lot of old montages that I've made that would be really fun to review. So leave a comment down below letting me know what you think of this video and if you want to see more. Last 3 things I want to say. Number 1, I'm now selling prints of all my best photos I've ever taken. This is actually one that I shot in North Carolina of a lightning storm. If you want to see all my prints, link to my website right over here. And I actually put it in this cheap little frame I bought on Amazon. Link to that down below. Number 2, if you want to see an old skate review video I made, I actually did one with Black Ninja a while back. Link to that over here. And number 3, if you want to just see my old skate videos, I have a playlist full of them, and I'll put a link to that down below. And that is all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you eventually. Gonna go eat pesto.